This is Mark and Charity's Coffee Podcast.
It's Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast. Hey, everybody, it's Monday, July 24th.
It's almost August.
Here's what we're not going to talk about today. We're not going to talk about how Charity doesn't want me to surf around on the internet anymore and start
Did you want to talk about that?
Doom scrolling.
You were just ready this morning. Like, you must have been sitting on it all weekend, and it just grew and grew and grew. That's why I don't want you scrolling on the weekends anymore.
But I need to know what's happening so we can come on here and talk about it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you not say I know what's going on too?
No, I don't think you do.
Sure I do.
No, you don't.
Yes,
No,
I do. Because when I come in first thing in the morning, that's when I look. And everything that I need to know is right there.
It's right there.
Do I need to continually go over the Justin Trudeau thing that happened here last week? No. It was last week. We talked about it. Let's move on.
Let's move on?
Let's move on.
You don't know what's going on. You should have been reading everything in the weekend.
I don't need to know what everybody else is saying about it.
Belleville.
I don't. I know what Belleville is about. I know what happens here. It was unfortunate. It was pretty shitty. And these people need to go somewhere else. I get all of that. But that isn't what this city is.
So if you were a reporter on Monday, November the 26th, 1963 in Dallas and said, look, Lee Harvey Oswald isn't from Dallas. We don't
very
need to
different
talk
things.
about it
Nobody
anymore.
was assassinated, number one.
Prime Minister was here and was verbally assaulted, and everybody in the country was talking about Belleville, and you're ready to walk away from it?
So you're comparing it to...
No, I'm saying that the notion that because we don't need to talk about it anymore?
No, I'm not saying we don't need to talk about it. Do you and I need to talk about it and get angry about it? No.
Not getting angry, but talking.
You were angry. You are angry about it.
No, now I'm angry that you think it's over. Like
I know. I'm not saying it's over. I'm saying we can move on. We don't need to bring it up on the air again.
Okay.
There's other things we can talk about.
Okay, like the Barbie movie.
Yeah, that was a big weekend. Movie. Our job is not, and I believe this, you can know what's going on, but we don't need to keep rehashing these things, especially when they're negative. We're here to bring positivity and to have people get ready for their day and to head out. That is our job. That is my job.
That's your job.
That's my job, is to get people ready in the morning. And what's your job?
Well, your job isn't to tell me my job. My job isn't to tell you to do your job.
But I feel as morning show people, we're here to get people started on their day.
Yeah.
We're to let them know what's going on that day.
Our morning show didn't have the Prime Minister on. Why?
I don't know. Why didn't we?
Thank you. So our
we didn't know
show,
he was going to be here until after... What?
Mm-hmm.
I think the day of?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Prime Minister was in this town. Morning show didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
That grave concern. Grave concern.
Okay, so what should we have done then?
We should have known.
Okay, so should we follow him now to know where he's going to go so we know if he comes back?
That's so incredibly condescending.
Well, I don't mean it to be condescending.
Missing the point.
Okay.
There are important things that happen in this town, and if we sound like we don't know, then that loses complete credibility with what goes on.
So what could we have done differently then?
Well, we should have had people in this radio station who are aware of it, and then be aware of what's being said about our community by very prominent people around the country.
Okay, but do you know when that news was made public?
Nope. It's not my job to know that. But it's other people's job to tell us so that we can then do it. The audience wants to know.
Sure they do.
The audience comes to us for this information. If we say, no, that's not our job, then that's just the wrong response. The absolute wrong response.
Okay, but I didn't say it wasn't our job. I just said we don't know when that became public. I didn't find out until after 9.
Lots of other media seem to know.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So it wasn't a secret. We were never told.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's unfortunate.
Yeah. So we cannot then continue this whole thing that, well, we're still just not aware. We have to be aware. We have absolutely. Okay. It is our job to be aware.
But we don't need to be all consumed by it.
It's not consumed about it. You didn't want to talk about it.
No, I didn't want to talk because it was last week. I didn't want to talk about it this morning.
So you didn't want to talk about it at all?
No, it's happened last week. People are still talking about it across the country because they're like, yes, it was a big story. I didn't feel we needed to talk about it this morning because it was last week.
Okay. So people in Calgary think it's important, but people in Belleville shouldn't think it's important.
Okay, what do you want to talk about then?
I don't.
It?
No,
but you did. You were talking about it again this morning. I just didn't see the point of bringing it back up again this morning.
Because the reaction around the country and the top op-eds all weekend were what was happening in Belleville. Belleville was a very important city in what was being discussed around the country this weekend.
Okay.
And you're saying that, well, you didn't read it and you don't think it's important.
It's not that I didn't read it. I saw the headlines. I saw it. I didn't feel we needed to talk about it this morning.
See, we do a morning show in Belleville. I don't know how you can think that.
Because it happened here last week. We talked about it last week when it happened.
Okay. Well, agree to disagree?
Okay, well, what new thing came out of it?
The view of what happened in our city and the way that people now view Belleville is now a topic of discussion.
Okay, but that started last week when it happened.
And continued all weekend.
Yeah.
So where are we? And you're saying it's over?
I'm not saying it's over. I'm saying we can move on. We can build a better view of it. Now let's turn it around and focus on the good things going on here.
Okay, but did you do that? You just didn't want to do it.
Well, I don't see the point of continuing to talk about the bad today.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Well, we
had the Rotary Loves Kids event on Friday, which was a huge event for Rotary Club. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the party on the Bay that happened on Friday. Let's talk about that. And yes, the Barbie movie, which made a huge weekend in the box office. And it's fluff, yes, but it's happier.
Okay. That happened everywhere.
Yeah.
But okay.
And the news can focus on what happened here with Prime Minister Trudeau.
But our news department didn't let us know that the Prime Minister was here in town.
I don't know when they knew.
Yeah, that's an issue.
Well, but that's for them.
Mm-hmm. Well, the audience doesn't know that. The audience just wants to know why.
I know. And it would have been nice if we could...
Our pictures are on the side of the building.
It would have been nice for us to talk to him, yes.
Absolutely.
We didn't get at that opportunity because we didn't know either. Mm-hmm. And we can say other people should have let us know, but we didn't know either. Mm-hmm. And if we're reading everything and if we're looking for stuff, we still didn't see it. So it didn't happen, unfortunately. Hopefully next time he comes this way, we get the opportunity to do that.
I don't think he will.
Well, he might not after last week.
He'll just go to Trenton.
It'll be very hush-hush if he does, if it happens again.
He'll go to Napa.
He won't let anybody know he's coming next time.
I hope he comes back.
Mm-hmm. I hope he does too. And I hope it's very different the next time. And it's unfortunate that Belleville was painted the way it was, because that's not a true reflection of this area.
Charles Adler said that very same thing. He didn't think anybody from Belleville took part. He felt badly for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, and you should read it. It's an excellent article.
I will read that article.
Thank you.
Then.
You should.
Okay.
So, what else?
We're getting old.
Yes, there's that. Well, go ahead. Tell the story. This is your story.
Are we moving on now? Okay. We put it up on our Facebook page because, yes, I had a moment last week. Did we not talk about this already? No?
I don't think so, no.
Not on the podcast? Okay. So I was into Walmart, and it's the first time it hit me that I was getting older. I know you do every year. I had to take a picture of a label and then magnify it with my phone.
Enlarge it, right? And that's great thinking, because I never would have thought to do that.
Really?
I would just ask somebody to read that for me.
Seriously?
Yeah, never would have occurred to me to do that.
Oh, well, there might have been a touch of embarrassment, the fact that I couldn't read it, because I was standing there holding it really close and then far away, and I'm like, okay, that shouldn't be that blurry. And then, so I had to magnify it.
But to be fair, I don't read labels, so...
Well, I was looking for something specific.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure that I found it. And I did, which was good.
Good. And then you said, I'm not going to tell anybody this happened.
No, actually, it was one of those things. I had a Mark moment. I call them Mark moments, where the light bulb goes off and I'm like, I could totally talk about this on air.
Yeah.
Because it was that light bulb moment. Like, holy shit, this is happening. Like, you get the few gray hairs, you get the crow's feet, and you get, I don't know, the aches and pains when you move. But this was something, I've never had problems with my eyes.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Ever. I've always had 20/20 vision, and I have been to the Dr. Mal, and she has said, it is starting to. You're at an age. I'm like, okay, we'll keep an eye on things, and this was the first time I noticed it.
Yeah, I held off. I didn't buy a pair of cheaters until I was 50 years old and a week. I wanted to make it. Yeah, exactly. I didn't read for 3 years. I refuse to put these things on And then when I bought, and then it's like, oh my gosh. Then I didn't realize how bad my eyesight was until I started wearing them and went, oh my gosh.
It's going to take a lot for me to buy cheaters.
Yeah.
Wayne came home with a pair, I don't know, a couple of months ago. I know we talked about that because he looks so funny with them. And he's bought a couple since then. And that, I guess, was another sign he was getting older. But not me. Now it's me.
Yeah, and how did he feel about it, though? Was there a point at which it was like, no, it's okay, whatever?
I think he has said, and I didn't realize, but when he bought the cheaters, he did admit that he'd noticed his eyesight was going for a few months. Like it was slowly getting worse. And with what he does, he has to read instructions, and he's quite often reading how to do things, and he's over time noticed that gradually that it started to go downhill.
Yeah. So and that wasn't the first moment. Down. Yeah, exactly.
No,
there's a breakdown.
No, but then you would think, okay, we'll make it an appointment at the doctor's, and no, put that off for another month. And then I had to do it. So he's going this fall to finally get checked out. Okay, who knows? He might actually get a prescription.
He hasn't even made it that far yet. No. See,
why go to the doctor?
Yeah.
Just go to the dollar store.
Because all it does is bottleneck up the healthcare system, and I feel guilty.
Is that what it does?
Yeah, that's why guys don't go.
You don't want to add to the... Okay.
There are people out there with genuine medical conditions. Why am I getting in their way? Why am I taking up a spot in line? Nah. Just go to the dollar store, get some sea salt and cracked pepper chips and some cheaters, and it's a good day.
And that makes it better.
Yeah, that's right. $1 Diet Pepsi, that's a full day. That's a full day.
How many pairs do you have now?
I have at least a dozen to 15 at home, probably half a dozen pair here.
Those ones you have on right now, they're cheaters?
Yeah.
See, they look like prescription.
I know. I always get quality ones.
You've never had prescription glasses?
Never.
And you don't think you should?
I'm just not saying that. It's just that if I can do this for $1, I don't want to spend $500. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If I always have. Now, will these injure my eyes? Are these hurting my eyes?
Well, you tell me. If you don't, because I've always been told if you don't need them, you shouldn't wear them, kind of thing, because that will damage your eyes. Yeah. But if you find they help, then I don't think they're hurting your eyes.
Yeah. So I know I can read everything, and I can, for a while there, I would do this.
I always get it mixed up. Are you nearsighted or farsighted? Can you read up, and I get that mixed up. Can you read up close, or is it for distance?
I can see distance very clearly, but if I have a book a foot in front of my face.
That's the thing with Wayne.
Yeah.
And apparently me too. So that would be nearsighted?
I guess.
Right?
I don't know the answer.
See, I don't know.
Maybe if I was a doctor, I would know. And I normally play one on the radio.
I know.
But I don't know.
You should know this.
So thank you, everybody. So it was a lot of the aches and pains. One guy said he knew for sure the first time he tried to get out of a chair and realized he needed to get the rocking momentum going.
That can be dangerous on a few levels, not only physically, but the chair you're in, you want to make sure is sturdy if you're going to start to get, if you need momentum to get yourself out of
it.
it.
You better stick the landing, because it's embarrassing if it starts to go bad. And there's coffee tables around.
Has that happened to you?
With glasses.
Does that happen to you?
Not yet.
No.
Might one day.
I liked your response to it. Your daughter kind of helped you out with it, though, the noises you make.
Yeah, she was the first one to notice, and she was just a child. It's like, why do you start, grunting every time you get up now?
How long ago was it?
Oh, like 20 years ago.
Okay, so
I would have been about 40.
Age.
Yeah. It would be like, when you get up, it's like, or sit down, oof, right? You start making noises when you change positions. And she was noticing that.
Do you still do that?
Oh, I bet you I do.
Oh, you don't notice it, though?
I bet you I do. Yeah, I don't notice. I'm not.
Do you notice your bones cracking?
Yep. Yeah.
And they make noises?
Feet and ankles. I could never, ever sneak up on anybody. It's too noisy.
As you walk.
Yeah.
They crack.
Like bare feet cracking on the hardwood floor at home. Oh, my gosh.
See, mine have
it's like a skeleton trying to make its way down the hall. I make a noise when I get up, and then I crack the whole way down the hall to the bathroom. I have to go to the bathroom 15
or just in the morning?
All the time. All the time. I can sit here and just crack my ankle all day long. Like, I am so loosely put together. It's like I was poorly constructed.
If Mark fell, he would shatter.
It wasn't, yeah. And it's game over. It's over. I have to be really... I've aged out. That's what I said this morning.
Stop saying aged out.
I have aged out.
You make it sound like we're on death's doorstep.
Not you.
No, but when you say we're aging out, it just...
Yeah, that's it.
Sounds horrible.
That's right. Like, when you have to sign up for an app and they want your birth date and you have to scroll 5 times to find your year. Like, come on.
It does make me feel, because I was born in the 70s, it does make me feel like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm older than I am.
Yeah, so it's like that one. It's like, I'm not there yet.
Why is the 70s so far down? It wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. Well, when people say, oh my gosh, they were married 50 years, you think, oh, that's amazing. Wait a minute. That's only 1973. I was almost in high school.
We were at a wedding on the weekend, and the bride and groom were born in 95.
Yeah, I know.
And both Wayne and I are like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Connor Bedard was drafted by the Blackhawks. I think he was born in 2006.
Yeah.
Like 2000.
No, I know.
2005.
See, and when I hear those dates, you got to think, okay, what have they missed? Like, I know I've missed things that you remember,
right?
And but I look at my kids and anyone born
for sure.
And the big one is, of course, 9/11.
9/11, yeah,
that's the big one. They weren't here.
Was 3-4 years after 9/11.
That.
Yeah, it's ancient history.
Yeah, Katrina even.
Yeah,
weren't here for the big hurricane in New Orleans.
All of that stuff that took place.
Like that to me is what I find so crazy.
Yeah, historically, the things that we take, the things that
happened in my lifetime that didn't
culture.
happen in yours. And now he's part of my lifetime, quote unquote, because of his phenomenal talent.
Yeah.
But it's like, holy crap, kid.
Yeah, the pop culture-ness of our becomes history for them.
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't even know.
Like ancient history.
Yeah, like there was never...
That happened before I was born, I don't care.
When he was born, everybody had a phone in their pocket. There was never a time when it was a new thing.
Yeah.
Like even my kids remember the first time getting a phone, as opposed to everybody had a phone, like all the time. And will forever from here on in. It was back when Twitter was good. Stuff like that.
Twitter was good. Just before we move on, then, if you want to talk about Twitter, I do have to mention the woman.
I think we're running out of time, but go ahead.
Okay, well, this Erin.
Oh,
the best part of this morning when we put this up on Facebook about the light bulb moment when you started to feel older, more mature, we'll say. She received a letter in the mail promoting a local retirement residence.
That's, you know what?
Their try before you buy initiative.
When that ends up in your mailbox.
And it was addressed to her and everything. And I do not know her, but I'm looking at her Facebook page here. Yeah, she's
No.
Exactly. It's like, how did you receive a letter like that?
She doesn't look like she's old enough to work there.
Exactly.
Let alone live
there.
That's
so funny.
Oh my gosh.
So funny.
It's not right. Oh, we saw you out taking your recycling. We think maybe you would benefit from living in a closed society.
If you feel isolated and alone and need to be more socially active, let us tell you about.
You were poorly put together. What a spirited Mark and Charity Coffee podcast for a Monday.
It was. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Now we got some vacation coming up. Yeah, do that.
Okay.
Come in feisty. Coming in hot on Monday.
No, I don't want to, though.
Have yourself a great day, everybody. Be listening for your chance to qualify for our Aerosmith tickets. We're going to give those away in a week. Coming up tomorrow, it is Who Let the Dogs Out. We'll warn you about that for the puppies, for Galaxy of Games, and so much more, including Jimmy Hollywood with a Take Home Tuesday. All coming up with Mark and Charity Mornings.